my doctor told me, my oncologist told me, he gave me a bill of $5,000, 500,000 Kenya shillings.
Oh, yes.
And asked him, I was with my wife and asked him, is that for the whole treatment? And he laughed. He told me, young man, cancer is an expensive disease. That's for one round of chemo.
Oh, no. And you have a few more to go.
I had 7.
Very welcome, a warm welcome to the Goldmine show. Absolutely excited just to bring this one. Now, we have done many shows, but this is special, man. This is going to be a special. In fact, I invite you, man, invite your friends. If you're watching us on Facebook, host a watch party. Tell a friend to tell a friend, because this is an amazing show, man. I've done many interviews, but man, this particular one is absolutely special. Follow us on the Goldmine Show on YouTube, on Facebook, as well as on Instagram, and let's together build a community that brings out the energy inside of us, that brings out the gold inside of us, because that's what it's all about, man. Now, today's show, many times we fight for many things. We fight for careers. We fight for our marriages. We fight for many things. But have you ever found yourself where you literally, and I mean literally, have to fight for your life, man? Our guest today found himself in exactly that position, man. Many times we've had this word cancer thrown out, and it almost sounds like a death sentence. But today's guest has been through it all, man. I think this is what sometimes I say, I did it, been there, done that.
Oh, yeah.
The teaser, man. Allow me just to introduce my good friend, Mr. Jeff Thige, the CEO on the 1st of January for Refugee, my friend, not just in Kenya, but globally. And I think we're going to talk about that at the second part of this interview.
Thank you.
A very warm welcome, Jeff, man. Good to have you here,
Thank
man.
you, Dennis. Thank you.
My friend, you're a miracle.
Thank you. Walking miracle by the grace of God. I thank God I'm here.
Absolutely, man.
Yes.
I'm so honored to have you here.
Thank you, Dennis. Thank you, Dennis.
Thank you.
Thank you for having me. The Goldmine show's been rocking.
Right.
With that introduction, I'm almost scared of starting off, but well, we are here, Dennis. Thank you.
The guys that God has blessed, man, that's how we introduce them, man.
Thank you.
Absolutely excited to have you here.
Excellent.
Chef, man, this thing called cancer is a big deal.
Yes, it is. It's a big deal.
Big deal.
It's a big deal. We have about 33,000 infections every year in Kenya.
Every single year.
Every single year.
33,000.
The mortality rate is close to 79-80%.
So it almost sounds like a death sentence at that
Oh,
point,
yeah.
man. Your life will be alive should you be alive after that.
Oh, yes. We are talking about 80% mortality rate, meaning that we lose so many people. COVID is not yet there at 80%.
No, it's not.
It's not there.
It's nowhere near.
It's nowhere
And you can see how uptight we are about COVID, man.
We have 35 oncologists in Kenya, Dennis. Only 35.
The whole country.
40 million of us plus.
Oh, no.
Meaning that one oncologist is serving approximately 3,000 Kenya. When you compare to USA and China, where one oncologist serves 150 packs, we have a long way
to patient ratio is just crazy.
It's crazy. 1 to 3,000. And a lot of the oncologists are, in the urban centers of Nairobi, Mombasa, and Kisumu. So what about our mothers up in the rural areas?
See, even the ones in the urban areas, Jeff. Today you go to Kenyatta Hospital and you're told you need to see an oncologist and they're trying to book you for next year.
Yes.
And you're unwell today. How are you supposed to wait for next year?
Dennis, that's even that's a part of the problem.
Right.
The other bigger part is this. How do you get to see that oncologist? Our doctors don't have the technology to correctly diagnose it on the first instance.
Misdiagnosis.
Rampant.
All over the place.
All over the place.
By the time we discover it was, you already have progressed.
It's on stage 4.
Stage 4.
It's gone haywire.
Oh, no.
So when you come to it and you're looking at a boy who is in Nyeri, or Mondi who is in Kisumu.
Or Kasipur, inside Kasipur.
Oh, yes, right there.
Right.
And he's been diagnosed with, say, lung cancer or pancreatic cancer.
Right.
By the time the local doctor correctly diagnoses that this is cancer,
This thing has moved. So they've been treating the stomach
oh yes,
or the back.
oh yeah, some antibiotics,
Some antibiotics and all of
yeah.
that stuff. And in the meantime, the core is not addressed. It is just progressing and progressing and progressing.
That's a situation, very sad situation. Recently, we got the first PET CT scan machine. Aga Khan had big billboards.
Right.
That's
Yes, announcing all
all
over the
over.
place.
That's a big deal. That's a big
It is.
deal because we've lost so many people. Our oncologists will be able to look and say, yeah, you got a cancer. We've done some blood tests, but they can't tell you the extent
Of how
far
far
it's gone. They will do what you call guesstimates, and so we've lost
Yet
so
I would
many people.
imagine the treatment for stage 1 is different from stage 2,
Yeah.
depending on how. So if I can't diagnose to what degree this is, then I can't prescribe accurately either.
Totally correct. Totally correct.
And Jeff, man, many of our people today, you're told you have it. And when you talk about mortality at 80%, when you talk about the oncologist to patient ratio, then it's real disaster.
Yeah.
It almost feels like a slap of helplessness.
And that's why there's a lot of stigma about cancer.
Right.
When you get to hear, and I've had these conversations, Dennis, I went through this process, I've become like an ambassador.
Right.
People take it as like a death sentence. And people die before they're actually dead.
Look, Jeff, man, I mean, you've just given a bit of statistics. 80% mortality.
Yep.
Doctor to patient ratio is a problem.
Yep.
The cost of even dealing with
Oh,
this
yeah.
thing is a monster.
Oh yeah, it's
It is a monster.
extremely prohibitive.
Right.
My doctor told me, my oncologist told me, he gave me a bill of $5,000, 500,000 Kenya shillings.
Oh, yes.
And asked him, I was with my wife and asked him, is that for the whole treatment? And he laughed. He told me, young man, cancer is an expensive disease. That's for one round of chemo.
Oh, no. And you have a few more to go.
I had 7. I needed 3.5 million Kenya shillings.
Jeff, let's go to your story. When you go to the hospital, number one, where did it all begin? And what took you to hospital so that eventually you received this verdict?
Dennis, I went to hospital for a simple practice that I learned in my marriage,
Right.
showering with my wife.
Right.
So in the morning, she noticed I had a swelling on my neck,
Right.
on the right side of my lymph node on my neck. And she told me, hey, sweetheart, you got a swelling.
There's something I see
There's
here."
something. You're
Right,
swollen.
yeah.
I told her, come on, honey, I've just slept badly, and that's
Yeah.
why I have this swelling.
Yep.
It will go. The
you
way.
got it.
I mean,
You
I'm not
sweat it
bothered.
off.
I have a job. I'm
I need to
busy.
go to the
I didn't got
office.
to go to the office.
Right. Right.
Well, she's persistent.
I still insist there's a swelling here.
Hey, 3 days later, she tells me, this thing, go and see a doctor. I reluctantly went to see a doctor.
Just to manage peace at home.
Oh yeah, I
And
need
she's,
peace. She's all over me. She's all over me.
It's all right. Let's tick this box.
I go to the hospital.
Right.
The doctor looks at me.
Yep.
Says, okay. She agrees. I'll give you some antibiotics. It should clear. Okay, fine. I go home.
Does the doctor do any test?
No, listens to me, touches it, and says, no, let's try and give you some antibiotics.
It must be an infection
Some
somewhere.
infection,
Right.
it will clear.
Right.
Okay, I take antibiotics. 1 week later,
Right.
nothing. It's not going down.
The thing is stubborn.
It's stubborn. A week later, on the left side, another swelling comes up.
Whoa.
My wife tells me,
I
hey,
see another one.
I see another one. You need to go to see a doctor. And I'm like, I'm there. I was there.
Give me my prescriptions.
And
I'm
then-
taking my dawas.
Yeah, I'm doing what I'm needed to do.
Absolutely.
She keeps quiet. She tells me, no, you need to go and see a doctor.
It is bothering her.
It's bothering
It is
her.
bothering her.
It's both. I am scared, Dennis, but as a man,
Put-
oh yeah.
Jeff, in Africa, man, we don't go.
Well, we don't go to hospital. We are men,
Yeah,
We're men,
We'll tough it out.
Everything will tough it out.
Absolutely. If you're not on the bed, we keep going.
Oh yeah.
Yep.
So, her concern starts concerning me.
concerns you now.
I start thinking, well,
This is a second one.
this is a second one. 1 week later,
Yep.
on my groin area,
Yeah.
I get another one.
Whoa.
She tells me now, honey, this one,
This is getting serious.
this is serious.
Yep.
I tell her, okay, now, I won't go and see a doctor.
Yep.
I'll go and see the doctor who I call my personal doctor.
Right.
I'll look for him.
Yep.
We'll have a sit down.
Yep.
He could only be found on a Sunday. Went, gave him the story
On the Sunday.
on the Sunday.
Right.
He sent me for some tests, and I brought the results to him. He looked at it and told me, now, I need to send you to a specialist.
Right.
I was like, okay,
Right. It sounds like there's something.
there's something.
Yep.
I asked him, what do you think it is? He
Yep.
says, no, let's get to hear what the specialist says.
Right.
So I go. I didn't know there's something called doctors of internal medicine.
I'm just learning it now.
Oh, yeah.
I'm sure a lot of us listeners don't even know.
They are there,
Right.
doctors of internal medicine.
Right.
I go check in one at Nairobi Hospital.
Right.
He looks at me, he says, he listens to the story, he says, now, I need to admit you to hospital.
But I came walking.
And I'm like,
Why are you admitting me?
What's up?
Yeah.
Now, Dennis, I was in the middle of planning
Yep.
an African conference for my workplace.
Right.
My compatriots across the
This time
African
you're working at
Vision Fund, which is part of the World Vision.
correct.
My compatriots were coming to Nairobi for a conference. I was in the center of making things work.
Right.
So I told this doctor, look,
You should know how much responsibility.
this is the worst time. I can't get out.
Right. I've got to organize this thing.
I can't bail out.
Everybody's looking on
They're
me.
banking on me.
Right.
So the doctor listens to me and says, my friend,
Are you serious?
today is Friday. I need you here on Tuesday, latest.
Right.
I got scared, Dennis. The doctor was breathing fire.
And he's giving ultimatum.
Yeah.
Not
I had never met him before.
Right.
I got
Oh,
scared.
meeting for the first time.
First time.
And this is a specialist that you're sent to.
Oh, yes.
Right.
So on Wednesday,
This time you must be sensing things.
things are not
too
right.
good. Yes.
That day I drove from hospital. I was stopped by a cop.
On this Friday evening now.
Yeah.
Right.
I stopped by a cop and the cop tells me, bring your driving license.
Yeah.
You are speeding and all that. I'm holding the steering wheel like this, lost
Right.
in my own world.
Right.
This cop looks at me and asks me, Mzee,
Are we together?
no. Do you know I gave that cop that admission letter to hospital? I told him, look, I need to go and get to my wife because I've just learned I have to be admitted.
Right.
This cop looked at the letter, he gave it back to me, told me, Mzee,
Just go ahead.
just go.
At this point, do you have any idea why you're being admitted? Or do you think it's just tests?
Just tests. And the doctor tells me, I was very flippant about it. Can't I just walk into hospital, do the test and go
And
home?
then I go and continue with my conference.
Now the doctor tells me, no,
We need you here.
we need you to be admitted because we're going to run very many tests.
Right.
So I start getting very concerned
Right.
and stressed out.
Right.
So I check in Nairobi Hospital and I was there for 3 days.
So
took
you come back
bloods.
on the Tuesday?
Oh, yeah. No, I came on Wednesday. I extended one more day. one more day. I had to finish everything.
Because of this conference?
Oh, yeah. I had to go and tell my regional director,
Right.
look, you gotta let me go.
Yep.
I have a
The doctor
condition,
requires
the
me.
doctor,
So this is how far we are. Guys, pick it up from here.
you run with it.
Right. So has the conference started in the meantime?
Oh, yeah, it started.
So you got it to start?
I got it to start, and then it easily eased off.
Okay. So Wednesday you check yourself in?
Check into hospital. We start the tests.
Right.
Blood tests.
Right.
Running the blood tests and all that.
Right.
Then I'm like, okay. They come and they say, we are going to discharge you after 3 days. So I'm like, okay. So what does it mean? Where are my results? They say,
What's happened, man? Yeah.
They say, okay, your results will come out after 21 days. We have sent your results all the way to Italy.
Wow.
And I'm like,
This thing you're not going to do it locally here.
It's not here? You're sending it to Italy?
What's going on, man?
I'm wondering, hey.
This is becoming a bigger deal than we thought it is.
Yeah, and I was sent home, and then I resumed back to work, and
Life goes on.
life goes
As
on.
you wait for these results.
21 days.
But at some point you're asking yourself,
What is this?
What's going on?
On the
So
20,
these 3 days they've done myriads of tests.
myriads of tests have gone into the theater. They've actually cut me up, taken up a biopsy
From the neck?
from the neck.
Right.
That's what the sample that's sent to Italy.
Right.
They've done a lot of blood tests and all that. And
You even went to the theater for them to get
Oh,
out.
yes.
Whoa.
And Dennis, let me tell you, those 21 days were
They must have been the longest.
longest
ever.
21 days.
Right.
So Dennis, 22nd day,
You show up at the hospital.
show up in the hospital with
Right.
my wife.
Yep.
We go to the doctor's place.
Yep.
And here we are. Doctor, we've come. Are my results out?
21 days are over.
They're over.
Give us the results.
Oh, but the doctor has been very busy. He forgot that we had to come back on the 22nd day.
So he's not ready for you.
Yeah, and the results are not here.
Right.
So he does a few calls, and we're told, okay, you come tomorrow.
Yeah.
The results will be here.
Right.
But the doctor thinks, okay, you can pass through Nairobi Hospital, pick
Right.
your results and come them with them.
Right.
So the following day,
So he's instructing you don't need to come to me directly. Go pick your
Go
results.
pick your
And
results.
then you can come to me.
go
That's
pick your
the following
results
day now.
the following day.
Right.
So around midday, he tells me, you come at midday
Yep.
with the results.
Right.
So about 11 o'clock, we check in Nairobi Hospital, go to pick our results. With my wife, of course. And we call the doctor and say, hey,
We got them.
we got the results. Can we come over to your office?
Right.
He says, I told you to come at 4. I told him, no, doctor.
You say 12.
You say 12.
Yeah.
I have the results here with.
Right.
He says, okay, now I'm in the middle of my schedule, blah, blah, blah. Can you make it at 4? I said, fine.
We don't have a choice after all.
Nothing else seems very important than this.
This is important.
So, Dennis, we sit in our car at the parking of Nairobi Hospital with this brown envelope.
Are
The
you
results-
tempted to open it?
The results are inside. Dennis, tempted? Yeah. We start discussing with my wife. Ask my wife, these results belong to who? Says, well, they're your results.
Yeah.
She's reading her Bible, she's doing her quiet time and all that. And I tell her, you know what? The envelope is not sealed.
I can as well open it.
I'll open it. They're my results.
Pull them out, man.
Open the letter, start reading. A lot of, medical jargon.
Which you can't even understand.
Half of it I couldn't understand, but finally the conclusion.
Yeah.
Confirmed follicular lymphoma. Huh? So, my friend, Google. Google is your best friend.
What is this thing?
Follicular lymphoma. Bang! I open, I'm reading. I see cancer of the lymph node. I see the word cancer. I went blank. I lost it.
You're not able even to go past that point.
My wife was busy reading. She realized the silence is like...
It's too loud.
It's too loud.
Right.
She asked me, what is it?
Whoa.
Gave her the phone. She read. She kept quiet. We kept silent for what seemed like an eternity.
Nobody talking to
Nobody talking to each other. We were just looking out.
Right.
Quiet. My mind, Dennis, went crazy. It just went crazy.
Right.
Blank.
Right.
Cancer of the lymph node. I had never in the wildest imagination, Dennis,
Thought about that.
thought about, no, hey, who thinks about cancer that it can come to them? No.
It's always remote out.
No, it's out there. Somebody else there.
Not
Not
here.
me. I mean,
How can it come so close?
Dennis, every year I had been taking PSA tests for prostate cancer.
Every year.
Every year, without fail. Since I hit 34, every year I used to do it.
Right.
Because my daddy passed away from prostate cancer. So I knew I had the genes, probably.
So
could be
you've
new.
got to do what you've got to do.
You gotta
never
do
took
it.
lightly
Never
at
took it
all.
light. So now here I'm seated and I'm seeing follicular cancer of the lymph node. I'm like, went blank. Let me tell you, that eternity was broken because as we were seated, we saw a friend passing. And I just saw my wife, that is so and so.
Wow.
And that brought us back. We sat there in that car until 4 o'clock. We walked
Waiting
to
for this doctor.
We went to see the doctor.
That's almost 4 hours of waiting.
4 hours. Walked into his
Must have
office.
been the longest 4 hours.
Longest 4 hours, my brother.
Oh no.
Longest 4
Oh
hours.
no. I mean, I have faithfully been checking on the prostate. It has hit me at a different place.
Yes.
The thing I've been checking, I mean, I have a different one now.
Dennis, let me tell you, that
Oh no.
was disastrous.
It must have been.
I walk into my doctor's office and I give him the envelope. He takes it, he turns away from me, he reads it, hiding it from me.
Not knowing you've read it.
Yeah. Then he starts a nice story, well, they managed to situation and
From
trying
so
to,
far.
you come in, yeah.
We can't go directly to this.
Yeah.
So we,
Oh.
right.
So I looked at him,
Yep.
eyeball to eyeball. I told him, you know what, doctor, I
read it.
opened, I read it, I know
I've
the
read
contents.
everything.
Tell me, what are we gonna do?
Right. Let's not scatter around this thing.
You should have seen the relief on that doctor's face. He said, now, I want you to go and see an oncologist. He took his phone, he called an oncologist. That was a Friday.
Right.
On Saturday morning,
You're with an oncologist.
8:30 in the morning, I was in the oncologist's office,
right.
waiting for him.
Right.
Waited for him until 1:30 in the
What's up
afternoon.
with these guys and keeping you waiting, man?
Man, from
I mean, it's a difficult
8:30 to
moment
1:30,
already.
I'm seated waiting
I can
for
almost even
him.
imagine at night you're wondering when will it be morning for me to go and have this conversation.
Well, then it's later I realized these doctors were overwhelmed.
It's a ratio you talked about.
Oh, yeah.
They've got to see
He-
too many people.
The same doctor
Yep.
He's consulting at Mpisha Hospital, Nairobi West.
Right.
He's up Coptic Hospital.
Right.
He's
already
doing
what
rounds.
He's dealing with has a lot of emotional distress. You can't just rush through a patient.
No.
You're gonna have to give them their time and walk them through because it's already taking an emotional toll already.
Dennis, let me tell you, when he finally came,
Wow.
we sat in his office.
Right.
He looked at the results. He checked me out. He looked at the lymph nodes and he sat down. He gave his prognosis. He said, you know what? You are on you are on stage 4 of cancer.
Which is now the final.
The final.
So Jeff, man, there's no hope for you, man. I do not know of too many stage 4 that come back.
Now, Dennis, the good thing is I hadn't done those. I didn't have that knowledge at that particular time.
Sometimes they say ignorance is bliss.
Oh yeah,
Sometimes
it was very bliss.
Right.
So I asked him, can you kindly explain?
What does that mean?
What does that mean?
Yes.
He said, so he went through the medical way,
Right.
if the cancer is a small tumor, then if it's all localized in one area,
Right.
that's stage 1.
Right.
But if it's shifted to another organ
Yeah.
and it's not very advanced as stage 2.
Right.
But now you have 4 swellings across the 4 quadrants of your body.
So
That's
the
it.
4 corner being the neck.
The neck, both sides
Both
of the neck,
sides?
and on both sides of my groin.
Oh, great, yes.
He said stage 4. Then he started writing. He took a piece of paper. He wrote prescription drugs. So I asked him, okay, what are you doing? He says, I want to admit you right now. You must start treatment immediately. So I asked him, okay, how much is this going to cost? He said, well, you can go and ask at the pharmacy, but my estimation, it's going to cost you 500,000. So I was like, okay, 500,000 for the entire treatment. I was so ignorant. He looked at me and said, young man, are you joking? Cancer is an expensive disease. This 500,000 is for 1 round. You need to have 6 solid sessions.
3 million.
3 million, quick mathematics. I did quick mathematics, my medical cover at work. I knew this one blown off completely.
It doesn't help.
It doesn't help. The shock.
And he says, I need to admit you now.
Yeah. Left that, walked out of his office with my wife. We were in a daze.
Not knowing what to do.
Where do you start? We walked to the admission place. You're in a daze. Before we got to the admission, a friend called. The friend called and says, Jeff, where are you? I told him, I'm at the Nairobi hospital. I've just been told I have this stage 4. Things are fake. He told me, what are you planning to do? I told him, I've just been told I have to be admitted and start chemotherapy. I'm going to the admission. He told me, Jeff, the way you sound, you're not in a position to make that decision. You and your wife, today is Saturday. I want you to call 6 men. I have a group of 6 men who are very close to me. I want them to come to your house on Monday evening at 6 p.m. And then you can call any of your relatives whom you think should be in that meeting. I was like, okay. Told my wife, we are not going to get admitted. That friend has said we are not in a state of mind to make this decision.
So we are not going for this admission right now?
Yeah, it can wait. On Monday, 6 p.m. in my house.
So you guys decide to go home?
We went home. Long weekend.
Against doctor's advice?
Against doctor's advice. Went home.
A friend has called.
He has called and he said, guys,
you're not in the right frame of mind.
You're not in the right frame of mind.
Which is factual.
It was. I was in
too much to take
there was
in
too
one moment.
much shock.
Absolutely.
My life, Dennis,
You almost
I just saw it
slip off.
It just crumbled down. That's when the stigma about cancer, that it's a death sentence, all those thoughts.
I'm trying to imagine what you had to process in 24 hours. Pretty much 24 hours.
Yes.
Because yesterday at Friday at 1, as you're waiting for the doctor, you read your document.
Yes.
You get into Google and understand what it is.
Yeah.
At 4 o'clock, you're meeting this doctor. By 1 p.m. the following day, now you're meeting the oncologist. And he's landing heavy news on you.
He's saying, young man, you needed to have started this treatment 2 weeks ago. You're very late. You're on stage 4.
You can't leave, you have to be on this bed.
Dennis, it took a lot of willpower I listened to my friend. Checked in at home on Monday, 6 p.m. In my living room, there were 23 people. My friend actually called all of them. Only 2 questions he asked them. He only needed them to come and contribute to 2 issues. One, whether any of them had heard of a successful treatment of cancer in Kenya. Second question, if not, have they ever heard of a person treated of cancer in any other country? And where was that? That's where we're gonna go.
He took real full charge.
He took charge. He set off the meeting. He said, we are not
And he's
gonna
saying, put data on the table.
put the data.
Do we have anyone in Kenya that has success?
You know, you let
Give
us
the
know.
name. And these are 23 people.
23 people. We went round the room. None
Not even one.
who had known of a successful treatment. There were stories of people who lost
It's
loved
horror
ones
stories.
and all that. There were horror stories.
And you're sitting there listening to all this.
Yeah.
As you're listening to this, what's going through your mind?
Dennis, first before you go there,
Yes.
my kids, I had to get into a meeting with my kids.
When? Before this meeting?
Before this meeting, because I needed my daughter to be part of that meeting,
Right.
to understand what was happening
What's
to her
going on?
father.
Right.
We called our children on Sunday evening for a meeting
After the Saturday appointment.
after the Saturday.
Right.
Told them, tried to make
How
it
old
as
are you?
smooth.
How old is your daughter?
Right now, my daughter is 21.
21.
Yeah, and that she was around 18, 19 then.
Right.
Okay?
Right.
My son was, he was sitting his KCPE that year. It was a critical time for him.
Yes.
So I called my kids, sat them down, told them, look guys,
Guys, this is what's going on.
this is what's going on, and my kids didn't ask any questions. But later I got to know my daughter went and called her best friend and said, my dad is dying. He has cancer. She was traumatized.
It must have been too heavy.
It was too heavy.
It must have been too heavy.
That was my lowest moment. Getting my kids to just,
It's a family moment.
It's a family
and we are
moment.
landing such heavy
information.
And at the back of your mind, the doctor has said this is stage 4.
Yes.
You know there is no stage 5.
It's finished.
It's almost the end of the road.
Dennis, I'm hearing 23 people saying nobody has ever recovered in Kenya, my friend. That doesn't give you a lot of confidence,
Of course.
Then the second question is what really lifted us. One lady in that meeting said, hey, my dad had prostate cancer and he came to Nairobi for treatment and my brothers refused him to be treated in Nairobi and we flew him to India. And I waited with bated breath to hear what he was.
What is the end of this story?
She says, hey, you know what? My dad is back in Shamaho in Kakamega.
Oh.
He's fine.
Finally, some good news.
Some good news.
So there is hope.
There's hope. The chairman saying, okay, fine.
Fantastic.
Where did your dad get treatment? Says, oh, there's this lady who organized for us. We went to India. Do you have her contacts?
Right.
Can we call? Put her on speakerphone.
Right
the there. Give the lady instructions. We need to get 3 quotations for 3 hospitals.
Right.
We need to know how much it's going to cost.
Right.
This is the prognosis. We are sending you an email.
Right.
We need this information before tomorrow morning.
You have a friend and a half, man.
That was it, Dennis. Quickly, we found ourselves going to India. Then the drama began.
Jeff, man, I don't want to rush you through this story, man.
Sure.
I think we're going to have to cut it here.
Excellent.
And we'll have to do a part 2 of this conversation.
No problem, my brother.
My friend, we've got to soak this stuff in, man. This is profound. It is big stuff. It is deep stuff.
Thank you.
And therefore, with your permission, man, we've got to do part 2.
No problem, my
We're
brother.
going to have to do part 2, man.
I went through it for others to be able to get their help.
Absolutely.
Excellent,
man.
no
Folks,
problem.
man, we just have to bring this one to an end for today. But next Saturday, my friend, it is coming. Part 2 is coming over. And I thank you for accepting to be part of part 2, man.
No problem, my brother.
Really appreciate it. But we're going to have to sign up. But I want to remind you, my friend, follow us on all our social media pages, man. On the Goldmine page, on YouTube, on Facebook, as well as on Instagram. And you've got to be part of this great community that unleashes the greatness inside of us and every positive ounce, man. Because there is hope, man. If we have a Jeff here with us, then you know that you too shall rise, shall overcome, and shall bring out the greatness inside of you. Until next time, and God bless you, and see you next time. Thank you for tuning in, and Jeff, and
Thank you. Thank you, my brother. Nice to see you. Thank you.